Every animal on Earth eats its food exactly as it finds it, raw. A lion tears into raw meat. A gorilla chews raw leaves for hours. Every creature on every continent for billions of years, except one, you. You are the only animal that takes its food and changes it with fire before eating it. It feels so ordinary that you've never once questioned it. But cooking may be the strangest, most important thing our species ever did, because it might be the reason you can think at all. To understand why, you have to know one uncomfortable fact about your brain. It is outrageously expensive to run. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it burns roughly a fifth of all the energy you have. Every fifth meal you eat is spent powering your brain alone, and nothing else. No other animal on Earth pays a bill like that. A chimpanzee's brain is a fraction of the size of yours. And for millions of years, our ancestors had small, ape-like brains too. Then, around 2 million years ago, something changed. The human brain began to grow. It grew fast, and far beyond any other animal that has ever lived. But a bigger brain needs more fuel, a lot more. And our ancestors weren't suddenly finding more food. They were eating roughly what apes still eat today, raw plants and raw meat. And here is the catch. Raw food barely contains enough usable energy to run a big brain. A gorilla has to spend 6 or 7 hours a day just chewing to survive. Raw meat is tough and stringy, and our jaws and teeth are weak. Raw plants are fibrous and slow to digest. By the raw numbers, a brain like yours simply cannot be powered this way. There aren't enough hours in the day to chew that much food. So how did our ancestors break a rule that should have been unbreakable? In 2009, a Harvard biologist named Richard Wrangham proposed an answer. He called it the cooking hypothesis, and it begins the first time a human ever held food over a flame, because cooking does something almost magical to food. Heat breaks down tough fibers and unwinds the proteins in meat. It softens hard plants and releases the energy locked inside them. In a sense, cooking digests your food before you even eat it. A cooked meal gives you far more usable energy than the very same meal raw, and it can be eaten in minutes instead of hours of endless chewing. Suddenly, our ancestors had a surplus of energy they had never had before. And here is the beautiful part of the idea. Two scientists, Leslie Aiello and Peter Wheeler, noticed something clever. The gut and the brain are both enormously expensive organs to run. So if cooking did the work of digestion, the body could shrink the gut and spend all that saved energy growing a bigger brain. And that is exactly what the fossils show. Around 1.8 million years ago, a new ancestor appeared, Homo erectus. Its teeth shrank, its jaw weakened, its gut grew narrower. The barrel-shaped belly of the ape gave way to a slim human waist, and its brain swelled to 50% larger than anything that came before. A smaller gut, fed by cooked food, paying for a bigger brain. So fire didn't just warm our ancestors or keep the predators away. It quietly rewired what a human being could become. Every thought you have ever had may have been paid for with energy that fire unlocked. We didn't just learn to cook. Cooking may have built the very mind that learned it. But here is the part scientists are still genuinely arguing about. Not everyone is convinced. The problem is the evidence for fire itself. Wrangham's idea needs our ancestors cooking almost 2 million years ago. But the oldest solid traces of controlled fire are far younger, closer to 1 million years, perhaps less. Some researchers think it was simply eating more meat, not cooking, that first grew the brain. The honest answer is that we know cooking transformed us. We are just still arguing about exactly when it began. What no one disputes is that, somewhere back there, fire and the human brain became inseparable. And that bond has never once broken. To this day, there is not a single human culture on Earth that eats all of its food raw. Not one. Anywhere. Ever found. We are the only species that can no longer live the way we were born to, on raw, wild food. We have to cook now. It is written into our bodies. So tonight, when you sit down to a warm meal, remember what it truly is. It is the same act your ancestors performed around a fire 1 million years ago. The act that may have lit up the human mind. You are the animal that learned to cook, and cooking, in return, made you human.